Hi everybody, it's Brendan here from Joomla. Today I'd like to take you through adding some functionality to the built-in editor of Joomla. It's a little bit restrictive sometimes, so it's all fairly straightforward. Anyway, we've got a new install here of just a basic blank Joomla site, same kind of thing that you would get if you did it. So what we need to do is from the admin panel, okay, we need to, well, I'll tell you what, let's just have a little look at what we've got to begin with, okay, so then you've got a better idea of, how things are going to look once you've changed them. So if we open up an article, there we are, these are the ones that are installed by Joomla as default. If we open up just this article here, there's not much inside it, but we only want to have a look at the editor for now. So let's do that. We're always waiting for localhost. If you guys are ever developing a website, you'll know the feeling. Waiting. Anyway, here we are. This is it. This is what you're faced with on a basic default install of Joomla. Okay, the Tiny MCE editor at its finest, or should we say minusculest. Okay, you've got very basic functions here, not very much at all. Okay, now this will be all right if you're just writing one or two paragraphs, you want to insert an image in there, something like that, but really the functionality is limiting. And for most of us, it's not really enough. Okay, but we can change that. Okay, we can change it quite easily. So let's close this down. Okay, and what we need to do is to go to the extensions menu. Okay, so come on, close down. There we are. Okay, and we'll click on that. Okay, click on extensions, and we need to click on plugins. So we shall do that, and we should have a list of all of the plugins that are available in your Joomla installation. Okay, there are quite a few here. Sometimes they're easy to find. You can scroll up, scroll down. Okay, and actually here it is. Here's the thing that we need right there. I was going to say to you guys, if you've got many plugins, just use the search bar here, okay, and you can search for either editor or the name of the plugin, whatever you like, and it'll narrow down the results. But we don't really need that here because it's just at the bottom. Okay, just click on editor. Okay, and there are three editors installed as standard. Okay, CodeMirror, none, although we say it's an editor, but there's nothing there. And Tiny MCE, which is the default one. Okay, so we'll just focus on that for today. So if we click on the link here, it'll open up the parameters of the plugin. Okay, now be careful if you are playing around with the plugin parameters, because sometimes they're obvious, the things that you change, but sometimes you might change something which will change the functionality of the plugin in a negative way, and if you don't know what you've done, putting it back to its default state could be a little tricky. Okay, but as long as you can remember what you've done, then it's not too difficult. So we've opened up the page here, and as you can see, we've got a range of things that we can adjust. Okay, there's two tabs at the top. Let's have a quick look in advanced. Okay, this really is about the layout of the editor. How high it is, how wide it is, whether it should or shouldn't do certain things, and you can adjust all of these parameters down here. So let's just, I don't know, let's choose one as just an example, full screen. Okay, it says public here. Okay, and you'll see you've got a list of choices there. Okay, you could hide it. You could make it available for public, as in the general public, registered users only, or super users, the admin. Maybe it's only available in a full screen mode to admin. Okay, so you can play around with these settings. You won't break it, but you might change its behavior into something that really you don't want. Um, we're not really interested in these settings today, so let's go back to the basic page here. What we want to do is to look for three areas, three things. Okay, this is the first one we're going to change: functionality. Okay, and what we need to do is to change that to extended. Okay, that will give us more buttons. We'll go and have a look at the buttons in a minute. Okay, so change that to extended. And then scroll down, and what we need to do here is look for prohibited elements. Okay, a lot of you guys ask, you say, "Hey, I'm typing something in, and the editor is removing my work. It's deleting it. What's going on? It's crazy." Well, this is the reason why. Okay, so what we need to do, you see we've got script, applet, iframe here. These are things that are not allowed. Okay, so if you're trying to put some PHP in there or some JavaScript, the editor will just strip it out. Okay, because of this. So what we need to do is just delete it. Okay, but we mustn't leave the box empty, because by default, when we save the plugin, those parameters will come back again. Okay, if it's an empty box, it's not allowed to be empty. So what I do here is just type in something irrelevant. Okay, you could type in anything, but CMS, Content Management System. There we are. That'll do, and that'll override those other elements now. Okay, and obviously CMS is not any kind of code, so it doesn't matter. Okay. That's the second thing that we need to change. Okay. Now, what we need to do now is to find the part of the or the choice, should we say, which is just above it here. This is use the Joomla text filter. Okay. And there's some instructions here. Okay. I always think it's a good idea to turn that on. Okay, because that will override the plugin's text filter. All right, so in general, if you're the super user, you're the admin of the site, there will be no restrictions. Okay, although you can change those. There's a white list and a black list, so you can add to them or take away if you still want certain restrictions. But most of us don't. Okay, so just use that, and also because we use the Joomla's text filters, they can be different for the registered users or editors. They can all be. You can set them up differently, so it's not one fits all. Okay, but in general, Joomla's default values are pretty good. All right, so we've changed three things there. Okay, and then all we do is we come out of this, click Save and Close. Okay. And then we'll go back to our document that we opened earlier. Again, always waiting for localhost. And okay, so we'll click on content, click on articles. We'll come back to our article list, and well, we can open open that existing article, or you could create a new one. It doesn't matter, but let's just open that article, and then hopefully we will see a new set of buttons. There we are. All right, so you can see now we've got a lot more choices, okay, and you can do a lot more things, okay. So that's how to give a little bit more functionality to a Tiny MCE editor. Okay, there's a lot more here, and it also now it shouldn't strip out any script that you put in. Okay, this button here, source code. Okay, if you click on that, you'll get this is the raw HTML coming up here, okay, and this is where you would put your source code in, okay, and it's best to put your like your scripts or your PHP in at this point, okay. I should have prepared one earlier, but I don't have one. But anyway, you'd put it in, and you click OK, and then when it came back to this visual editor here, it probably wouldn't show up if it was a bit of code, but when you click on the source code, it would be here. Okay, there we are. So as always, save and close. Okay, and then you get back to the beginning. So well, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I hope that's informative for you guys. Something just to make your life a little bit easier. Okay, and well, for now, that's all. Thanks very much.